Hello and welcome to PA 315 Summer 2022, and glad you could all join me. This is going to go very, very fast. Not only this video, but the course in general. We only have 6 weeks and things move quickly. So it's very important that you pay attention to this video, as well as go through the syllabus and the modules each week. Stay ahead of the game because basically we're crunching 2.5 weeks of courses into one. So there's going to be lots of assignments. Don't get discouraged. They're not extremely difficult, but they need to, they need to be done. You need to do the reading, take the quizzes, all of those things, watch the documentary. And I'm going to give you some tips on how to do well in this video. So please pay attention. So as you see, here is the syllabus. We are asynchronous online course, but things have to be done each week, which we'll get to. So general class activities, we have 3 elements of assessment. These are the quizzes. These are the things you're graded on. So they're the online Revel chapter quizzes, which you will take as part of the Revel ebook, not in Canvas. And make sure to read through the syllabus and read through the module to get that clear. These will not be available in Canvas. These will be available in the textbook itself at the end of the chapter. Please read the chapter first before you take the quiz. And you do get 2 attempts on the quiz, but I've had students who say, oh, I'll just take it once and then I can learn from my mistakes and take it again without reading it. And they do very poorly on the quizzes, and that adds up. That's 30% of your grade. And you don't want that to bring you down a grade or 2. So outside of the chapter quizzes, again, 15 questions at the end of the ebook, each chapter, there's 10 total chapters we'll be going over in this course. You also have online documentary quizzes, which I'll go over more later. They're short, but you have to pay attention to the certain questions I want you to look for within the documentary. And then you have videos to watch and such during the course, during each module, and I'll get to that more later. And then you have 2 online exams, like a midterm and a final. They come up very fast. Again, it's 6 weeks, so you have to make sure you prepare for those. The good news is I give you study guides, which helps. So we will go down here. I will go over immediate access for the ebook and all that when I go through Canvas quickly. Your grades are here. There's 1,000 points for the course. Usually I do 100 if you've had me in other courses. I do 1,000 here just based on the Revel ebook quizzes to make sure everything makes sense. And I'm very strict on this. If you get a grade and falls into that, that's what you get. Please don't ask me to improve your grade for no reason. So your first exam covers chapters 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you will have 2 days in order to do it. Please pay attention to dates. They're on the syllabus and the module. There's no excuse that, oh, I missed it or something like that. They're 50 questions, 6 points per question. So you can't use your textbook when you're taking the exam. The exam, like the quizzes, once you start, you can't stop. And I don't want you working in groups because that is cheating. Your chapter quizzes, as I said, 10 Revel chapter quizzes. They're 30 points possible each. And you should be doing those individually. Documentary quizzes, there's 4 at 25 points possible each. And you will see there's a pattern, and I'll show you when I get into Canvas on how these assignments, when they're due, etc. Late assignment policy, that it's not acceptable if it's late. You may have to make sure that things are done on time. I know things happen in people's lives, but let's try to avoid a lot of the family emergencies and things like that, and try to stay ahead of the game. No alien abductions. They're going to have to wait till after the course is over before they can take you into space. We want to make sure you get this done in 6 weeks and everyone's happy. And I am going to go down here to show you the urgency. So as you see, module 1, the syllabus is a little more general than what's in the module. And I'm going to show you the module in just a second. I'll show you module 1 to give you an example. So there's certain things that aren't listed here in the syllabus that will be listed in the module. For example, we say here to make sure you watch the other video presentations, etc. And I don't list them out in the syllabus. It's just too much information. So that will be listed out in the module, which I'll show you in a second. I give you a link to the documentary here, but I also have it embedded within the module, just in case you can't get to the module for whatever crazy reason, and you have the syllabus, you can get to it that way. As you will see, each week, not every week, but most weeks, you have 2 chapters that you have to read. That means 2 chapter quizzes and 1 documentary quiz for the week. And then several very short, these extra videos are not long, they're short, and they are important to watch for contextual material pertaining to the chapters. As you can see, there's no chapter 1 here. My recommendation is for students who are not very up to speed on their US civics and social studies and all of that, I would go through chapter 1. There's no quiz, but just go through to give you some of the basics. I didn't have it in this because we don't have much time in 6 weeks. I wanted to make sure we get to the good stuff. So there's 10 chapters from the text only. So as you see, we repeat in module 2, which is week 2. And then we have the first exam in module 3. So you'll have 1 chapter, chapter 6, and then you're going to have the exam. Before each exam, or the week of each exam, on the Thursday at 1 p.m., I will have a live Zoom review of the exam 1 study guide. So whoever wants to show up with questions, please show up. Please, somebody show up. Sometimes I do this as 1 or 2 people. We're staring at each other. It's good to show up if you can. If you can't, it will be recorded and played later. It will be recorded that day and then put on in the module later that day. So then we repeat, and then you see there's 2 chapters, 1 documentary quiz, 2 chapters, 1 documentary quiz. And the documentaries are kind of interesting and controversial. They're meant to be. You know, it doesn't mean I believe everything in them, but it gets you thinking. And then at the end, the week of June 27th, boom, you're done, and you have your final exam and then the 1 chapter. And the same thing as Zoom review. So whoever wants to show up to that, please do. So now I'm going to stop this share, and I'm going to go to the Canvas module. Now, my module is slightly different from what you see because I'm the instructor, so don't panic. This video is put here, which I will also send, as you have received by now, the announcement to watch the video. To access a Pearson course in Canvas, you just hit this, and there you go to the document that gives the instructions, but you don't even really need it. It's very easy. You just hit immediate access, you hit this, and then you go through all of the steps, and that'll load the text for you. But if you're having trouble, read this. Syllabus is here. Definitely go through it, please, especially the schedule and the due dates and all of that. And here we get to module 1. So each week you're going to be getting a module like this. So you'll have an overview that has all of the things you have to do for the week, and then you'll have the lectures. So the module overview has more information than what's in your syllabus, including lots of tips. It's going to be repetitive. I try to put this for each one, so there's no excuses. So first thing every week, reading Chapter 2, the Constitution, in your Revel online ebook. Complete Chapter 2 quiz. Revel Chapter 2 quiz is available at the end of the chapter in the Revel online books. 15 questions must be completed before Thursday, May 26th. So very soon coming up, you're going to have assignments due next week. So you have to stay ahead of the game. Please read the chapter first. You are allowed a second attempt because I'm not a monster. But if you don't read it, you're not going to do well even with that second attempt. And then you're going to be upset with yourself and your grade. So you read the chapter 1, you complete the reading quiz, the chapter quiz, 15 questions at the end of the Revel book, not in Canvas. And then you review chapter 2 lecture. And then I will show you that in a second. It's my boring lecture. If you're having trouble sleeping, make sure to listen to it. If you have children who are being naughty, you can punish them with having to listen to my lectures. I'm sort of kidding, but not completely. But make sure to also go through the lecture. Can you go through the lecture before the chapter quiz? Yes, you can. However, don't just watch the chapter lecture and then take the quiz and, hey, that wasn't covered in the lecture, because it's a reading quiz to make sure you're reading. So there's going to be items in the quiz from the text that aren't part of the lecture. So make sure you read and watch the lecture, whichever way you want to do it. Here we see some of these extra videos. So review 2 is a TED Talk on Hamilton versus Madison and the birth of American partisanship. This is important. It gives you context for the chapter 2 and chapter 3 material. So after you do that, congratulations. This is done before Thursday of every week. You're going to see a pattern. Thursday, your first chapter quiz is due by midnight. And Friday, your documentary quiz is due. So you watch the 4 Horsemen. I'll show you this in a second. That's due. And then Saturday, after you do the documentary quiz, simple quiz, but I will give you the tip on how to do well on them, because sometimes students think they can take the quiz without watching it and they do terrible. Or they watch it without paying attention, or they didn't take advantage of the different things I told them to look for in the documentary and they don't do well. So we want you all to do well. So now reading 2, chapter 3, same thing. You read it, you take the quiz, you've read before you take the chapter quiz. There's the chapter 3 lecture that's pre-recorded in this module. Yes, you can watch a lecture before you take the quiz, that's fine. And then you have 2 short videos. These are just, about 5 to 10 minutes. The TED Talks are a little longer, but these are short. Most of the videos you'll be watching this semester are really short, so don't be afraid. And they do provide context. So that's the overview for the week. Don't get crazy and think, oh my God, that's so much work. I've tried to make it easy for you. So go to next here, chapter 2, the Constitution. Tells you what to do, the reading quiz, all that jargon. Here is the lecture. This one's about 40 minutes, usually 30 minutes to 45 minutes. I go through the slides. This is going to be important for material on the exams. Your chapter quizzes are more related to what's in the text. There's lots of overlap, but this is more condensed. And then you have the TED Talk right here. So you don't have to try to find my stuff. You just hit play and watch it. And then for this, you just hit play and watch it. Now you get to the documentary. The documentaries are about an hour, hour and a half. They're all very interesting, but they're, I understand it's lots of material. So for this documentary, like I do for every documentary, there's questions here. Please go over these questions, write them down, print out, copy, paste, print out, however you want to do it, so that when you're watching it, you can say, oh, that's what they were talking about at this point. And it helps you to, it's one way it makes sure you're paying attention for me. And the other is that you're getting the good stuff from the presentation. Here is the key. All of these pertain to one quiz question. So if you pay attention, get these questions, watch it, say, oh, that's what this means. It's not very difficult. Then the next, when you take the quiz, you will do great. And it's only 5 questions. So you've taken the quiz, that's on the Friday, and then before Saturday, same thing. Chapter 3, Federal System. Read the chapter, take the reading quiz, all that good stuff. And then you can watch the video. You can do it before or after, however you want. And then here are your short videos. And that's it. That's module 1. Seems like a lot of work. Once you get into the hang of it each week, you'll be fine. Please jump into this early. Get right into the material on Monday and get into the rhythm, and you'll do fine. If you have any questions, send me an email. If the questions are something that's blatantly mentioned here or in the syllabus or both, I'll get angry, but I will still answer your questions. So thank you again for choosing PA 315. This is a refresher on US Civics. It's a lot of material, but just go through, trust me, if you follow the module, get things done on time, you will do well in this course.